Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. Believe it or not, I hate doing these videos where I've got to defend one company over another, but recently Intel made some pretty wild claims about 3rd Gen Ryzen, and it's seriously deceptive. But first, check out today's sponsor, Drop, formerly known as MassDrop, a group buy website with amazing deals on PC hardware. It's free to sign up, and if you do it today, you'll get $20 off your first Drop made items, so head to the link in the description below. If you remember, not too long ago, when AMD announced their new Ryzen 3000 processors, Intel challenged AMD to beat them in quote, real-world gaming. Well, during the company's recent press conference, where they announced their 10th gen Comet Lake processors, Intel tried to expand on that concept with slides claiming AMD is really only good in niche areas. The problem is that they're seriously deceptive. In the benchmarks, you can see Intel compares the Ryzen 9 3900X to their Core i7 9700K and i9 9900K. There's a few tests that they use, but there's one that's just a really messed up tactic. It's in their Web XPRT3 test, which is for web performance. When we look at it, you can see it states they did the benchmark in Microsoft's Edge browser. Now, the funny thing is that in another slide, Intel mentions common daily usage. Well, according to W3 Counter, as of July, when combining usage of both Internet Explorer and Edge, they only have an 8.6% market share, with what I bet most of those being from Internet Explorer. Chrome, on the other hand, is a whopping 55.4%. But hey, this is common daily usage. Now, this matters because in Web XPRT Fact, it specifically states that the browser you use does affect the score. And I think it's pretty clear that it does as well, because when we look at Tom's Hardware's test, it shows about what Intel is saying, while AnandTech shows very different results. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the browsers that they used, and I don't have Intel's processors to test for myself, but I was able to run the test on Chrome and Edge on my 3700X, just to see if there's a reason Intel may have chosen Edge. Well, as you can see, on Edge, the 3700X got a score of 267, while on Chrome, the 3700X got 284, which is an increase of 6%. Now, obviously, I don't have the score for Intel on Chrome, but I think it's pretty clear why they used Edge instead of Chrome, and it has nothing to do with being common daily usage. Next, they show Sysmark, which does test things like Chrome, Word, Excel, and a few others, and these do actually use the programs themselves, so it's a good test. When it comes to specific test results that I was able to find, you can see Intel typically does win in Microsoft's Office suite other than Excel. And that part actually begs the question, which applications did better for Intel and which did better for AMD? An overall score doesn't help users who may use Excel all day but never touch Word. Plus, many of these applications only fare better because they really only care about single core performance, but if that's so important, why does Intel continue to up their core count? Next, they use Spec Rate 2017, which I'm really not that familiar with. I mean, why didn't they do fairly common professional workloads like rendering, encoding, or compression? Finally, you can see that even in these benchmarks, the difference is quite small. But then that Cinebench score shows a whopping 49 and 69% less performance for Intel, which is obviously huge. Of course, when it comes to games, Intel does still tend to win in more games overall, though that's only with a really high-end GPU. Honestly, the simple fact, and I've been saying this for a while, is that when determining what CPU is best for you, actually look at performance benchmarks on the exact applications you plan on using daily. AMD definitely tends to dominate in applications that utilize all of their cores, but they do have some issues with RAM latency, as Intel points out, though certain things can be helped with higher RAM frequency. Basically, in the end, this isn't the worst thing I've ever seen, and AMD has definitely been one to cherry pick benchmarks as well. I mean, these are businesses trying to show you how their product is better. But the way Intel presents it here, implying that AMD is only better in synthetic benchmarks like Cinebench, while Intel wins in actual real-world performance, is simply ridiculous. So while that does it for today, what do you think? Is Intel just being deceptive, or are these the most important benchmarks for you? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.